Hi, and welcome to Dave's Think Tank, also known as Dave's 5-Minute Think Tank, also known as Dave's $5 Think Tank. Today, I've received a letter from Mrs. Bernadette Nussbaum of Pelican Beach, Florida. She says, "Dear Dave's Think Tank, aka Dave's 5-Minute Think Tank, aka Dave's $5 Think Tank, my grandson was visiting over the weekend and he left behind his Rubik's Cube. I tried to solve it but was unsuccessful. Can you teach me how to solve a Rubik's Cube in only 5 minutes?" Well, Mrs. Nussbaum, this isn't the usual type of request we receive here at Dave's Think Tank. However, you are in luck because, yes, I have actually solved the Rubik's Cube. And by solved it, I mean I actually solved it, not by reading one of the solution booklets or watching the videos, but by actually working with the damn thing until I came up with a solution. My brother and I got a cube way back in the 1980s. He would work on it for a while and then tell me anything he figured out about it. Then I'd work on it for a while and tell him anything I'd figured out. We finally came up with a complete solution, which usually took a couple of hours because there were a couple of major gaps in our approach. But many years later, I picked it up again and filled in those gaps so that now it only takes me about 5 minutes. That may sound great, but there are kids today who solve it in close to 5 seconds. Seriously, no exaggeration. I can't even mess up a Rubik's Cube in 5 seconds. Except they have an advantage that we never did. That is, our cubes were crap. This is one of the original cubes, and look how tough this is to turn. Then if one side is even, the slightest bit out of alignment, it locks up like Fort Knox. Now this cube is more like the world record holders we use today. They usually work in one hand, and there's no problem with alignment. It just snaps back into place. Except you can't get these in North America. They're still selling these things here. I had to send someone all the way to Asia to pick one up for me. Obviously, they're keeping all the good cubes for themselves. So the difficult part of solving a cube is that every time you move a piece into place, it always seems to mess up pieces you already had completed. So the usual way to solve it, though you'll find in most solution manuals or videos, is to memorize a whole bunch of long, complex algorithms that cover every conceivable situation, and then you move one or two pieces into place while leaving everything else unchanged. Now, the solution my brother and I came up with is different than what you'll find in the solution books and the videos. Our solution starts by solving the corners first, then the edge pieces. The whole process is to solve the 4 top corners, then the 4 bottom corners, then you solve for a ring around the middle, then you solve for the top 4 edge pieces, and then you turn it over, you solve for the bottom 4 edge pieces. So the nice thing about this method is that once a part is complete, solving the remainder is completely independent of the part you just finished. This means there are very few algorithms you need to memorize, and much simpler algorithms when they are needed. The algorithms are only needed when moving some piece into place is going to wreck the parts you've already completed, and that happens far less with this approach. For example, once you've done all 8 corners, you never have to move the corners more than a quarter or a half turn ever again in order to solve the edges. Solving the edges is all about turning the middle rings, which doesn't affect the corners, and if you turn the corners a quarter turn, you just turn it right back once you're done. And once you solve this middle ring, there's nothing you can do in solving the top edges or the bottom edges that's going to do anything to affect the solved middle ring in any way. Okay, it seems I've used up most of my 5 minutes and I haven't taught you anything. I'm going to start another video in which I can hopefully fit in a complete description of how to solve a Rubik's Cube in 5 minutes. So please check out part 2.